Three main benefits of Airtable that I have found, and these are the three main points that I want you to take away today. The first benefit is that it's a really clean, central data source for our organization. It's sort of like the one center of data. We don't have multiple lists going everywhere. The whole team just uses this one central data source. If I get a change of an executive officer or a chairman that gets sent through from the groups, we update it immediately, and within 5 minutes, that's updated on the website. So it's really clean, central data source. We then use that data, we put it to work, and we use it to be reconfigured for multiple purposes across projects, events, and all sorts of stuff, which I'll show you. The other main benefit of Airtable that I'm finding now that our team is more widely using it is it acts like a glue for our team. And it really does enable collaboration within the team and also external partners, because you can actually give external partners specific access to certain parts of your Airtable platform. So at the moment, we have an external consultant assisting us with the benchmark and build project, and we've given that consultant access to that piece of information on Airtable. So instead of us pinging each other back and forth with how's it going, where are you at, we're just both simultaneously updating the data in Airtable, and he can look at it, I can look at it. We just don't even need to speak to each other. So it's super efficient in terms of connecting people and collaborating. So who are the Airtable people? It was launched in 2012. The headquarters are in San Francisco in USA. At the moment, there's around 300,000 companies using Airtable around the world, and some really big brands like Netflix. And you need to go on their website and you'll see all of these big names that are using it. It's a cloud-based website. So you don't need to press save on anything at any time. It all automatically saves as you're working, which we all love. It also means that you can access it from everywhere, and you can access it on your phone. In terms of the pricing, there is a free package. There's all these different levels, but we actually subscribe to this one here, which is, it's either $20 a month if you pay upfront for a year, but we pay monthly, which means that we can change our subscription level any month. And then every external collaborator that you add, and we have one of those at the moment, it's another $24. So at the moment GGA pays $48 US a month. In terms of the home workspace, this is what it looks like. Once you set up your account, it'll produce a landing base like this. And this is all of these files here or folders. They're actually called bases. What you can't see is down the bottom of that landing page, it says there's a plus sign. It says add a base. And if you click that and offer you a menu to choose from what sort of base you'd like. So for example, look, there's one for not-profit, there's marketing campaign, tracking, product launch, user research, all of these, they're all ready to go. If any of you use Canva, which is a graphic design platform software, it's a bit similar. So Canva has a whole lot of pre-prepared templates ready to go, and you just crack them open and change the data. And that's exactly what this is. So it's brilliant. Does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Now, I'm going to run through the 7 examples now of how we use it. The number one way is with our network list, and you can see down the bottom. So at the moment, this list is just in alphabetical order, A to Z, and it has some numbers down the bottom. It shows we've got 80 organizations in the list. We can have all sorts of data that we collect. All this data is public. It's on our website, so there's no sensitive data in here. But you can see that you can populate columns, and the members, when they're applying, will populate these columns for us. So this column here is estimating number of farm entities, non-farming entities, and then total stakeholders. You can see there that it actually tallies up to about 5,956 members. So at a glance, you can sort of get metrics. Over here, you can see these ones circled here. These are our executive officers or the main contacts that may be in place in the groups. And the way we've got this set up is that this particular base feeds immediately to our website. You'll find it on our website. It'll have everybody in A to Z, and it will, our website spits up a map, which it's pulling that location from Airtable. And then if you clicked on any of the groups, let's take, for example, Origin Farm Improvement Group, this data that you're seeing here has been provided by the CFIG team, and it's pulling directly from our Airtable base. So if Veronica was to send me an update or she wanted their group bio changed, I just update it in Airtable, and within about 5 minutes, it updates on our website. You can see here that we can link CFIG's website. So if people want to do a deeper dive, then they can click through to CFIG from there. So that's the first way that we use it with our member network list. Another really clever way that we use it is you can generate graphics from data. So this is our list of the GGA staff and board. And so some of the columns that we've got here is staff member name. You can actually drag a picture into the Airtable, just have their title, and it's reporting to how we'll set up the tree. And then you can, over on the side, over on the right-hand side of the page, can't see it now, but there's basically this button called apps, and there's options to present this data on the left that's in the Excel format into a graphic. And so just at the click of the button, it'll produce it into an organizational chart like that. Save me designing it. If we have a staff member change, it's updated immediately. And then the way we then use that is this is on our website. You can see if you go to About Us, I just have literally taken a screenshot of that org chart, and it's there on our website. So you can see how efficient that is, repurposing that contact, what is essentially contact information internally to an external use. In terms of capacity building and data support, let's have a look at what I've got here. Okay, so this particular base that I set up was to track every participant in every activity that we ran last year in the capacity building. And you can see here, this is the cohort that participated in the National Extension Skills training. This cohort here, and it's got a count, there were 18. This cohort here who participated in diploma of project management, and so on and so forth. So it's one base where, so after today, I will capture a list of all the people that attended, and I'll throw it into a new base for 2022. And that means that when Belinda Moore has finished, her second presentation from the membership, series, and we've got slides and everything, I can just grab all the emails from this list of who attended and shoot out all the extra resources directly to that particular group. And we can have a bit of an alumni. So if you've got extra opportunities that come up for people that had done that particular activity, you can target them and support them more with pushing out extra professional development for that area of interest. So, and then also from that particular list, we can then, it's super clever. So again, over on the right-hand side of the page, it can present the data in some different configurations for you. So if you have a look at the shipping address here, we actually then take that over and we get it, we get Airtable to throw up on a map where all the participants came from. So you can actually just do it by event or workshop, or you can do it for the whole year. And then also by using a column, you can have a look at, well, who was who. So for example, this one here, like with the National Extension Program, everybody was from the GGA network except for Serena, who was an external guest who came from Murdoch. And so by classifying those with a tag, I can transfer that into a pie chart and I can have a look at the whole year or an individual activity of who's who. So we can see that our capacity building activities last year majority was by our core members. Then there was NRM, guests, general community, so sporting groups. So that's a lot of our governance, pro training workshops are open to the public, and then non-ag GGA. So for example, Serena would classify as she's in the ag industry, but she's non-GGA. So at a glance, you can I can share that with the board who's showing up and utilizing our services.
Great.
So with that map that I was showing you up there on the right, you can convert it, you can enlarge it, and you can then convert it into satellite. And so you can see on a map, and then if you can actually zoom right down to your locality. So in terms of a grower group, you can actually have a look where are you know where your members are. Well, you can actually create a base to plot where your members are, and then you can see who's showing up at our activities. And it might be that this particular neck of the woods can't get to events because it's too far away, or there was a river that floods and that sort of thing. So you can then, with that information around seeing who's coming, you can actually tailor your format and your delivery to reach out to them and engage in ways that are more suitable for them.
Yeah, Kallista, it's Veronica. My question was around, I haven't actually used Airtable for the registrations yet, but I think that's a brilliant idea. And I was wanting to know if it integrated in any way with tribe bookings, because I know quite a few groups are doing event bookings either through something like tribe bookings or Eventbrite or something like that. And I was curious to know if it had some sort of an integration or it's a separate manual data entry.
So Veronica, the honest answer to that is it could do, but that's actually above my working knowledge of Airtable at the moment. But the way I have populated and curated that list, where you can prepare a report and it generates who attended in an Excel sheet. And then from an Excel sheet, you can literally drop it in there as if you're copying and pasting columns, exactly like from one Excel sheet to another. Okay, so another thing Airtable does is it'll present the data in different layouts. So this particular base here, it's just one that we recently built just before Christmas when everybody was going on leave and we needed a visual of who was on deck when. And so this particular base we've commanded it to show in what's called timeline up here on the left. And so it's just got a name and it shows you when they're on leave. But at the flick of a button, you can actually get it to, by choosing a calendar option instead of timeline here, and there's other layouts down the bottom, you can actually get it to present in a calendar format. So if that is a way that your brain understands things better, you can actually see that Ricky was on leave until yesterday, Alison Lacey's going off there. So it's super clever. It's the same data. You can just throw it up in all sorts of different configurations, which you can see down the bottom. What have I got here? Okay, this is a different way that we used Airtable for project management. So I use this to manage GGA Forum last year, which is quite our biggest event, lots of moving parts. And so you can actually set up a sheet which pretty much lists every activity you've got to do, which team, who's responsible for it. So this was all my activities. And then these are extra ways that you can sort the information. You can have a status, have a start date and end date. And then after you've got all of that in, you can actually use it to track your events. So you can, even also I had other, let me go back one. I had, I don't know if you can see, but up the top, along the blue strip, it's got forum budgets, speakers, sponsors, and so on and so forth. There's all different sheets, just like in an Excel spreadsheet when you've got sheets down the bottom. So this whole base is about forum, but I've got different data on different sheets, and they're actually all talking to each other, linked to each other. And so just going forward again, on another tab I had costings, so revenue, projected ticket sales, sponsorship money in there, and I can have our expenses. You can actually sort this, as you can see down the bottom, and along here it gives you subtotals, so you can actually manage all of your money. You can split it into financial year and so on and so forth. And then it also has the Gantt chart feature. So I've just commanded it to show me the information in a Gantt chart layout. And so what a Gantt chart is it's a timeline really over time. You can see circled up the top is when these things need to happen. And you just need to click on them and you drag them across if they're, and move them around if you need to change your date. So one list of activities, just supercharge them with bits of information, and then you can get it to present to you in all different usable formats. Another way that we're using it is with a form to data capture on our website. So for example, this is on our website. We have a form that was set up by our web designers for a membership application form. Just captures the prospective member, fills out the fields, and where that gets housed, let's have a look. I think I can show you. So I have got a sheet just behind our main network list, and it's called pending GGA membership. So that's where it gets put until we have a board meeting when they then get considered for approval. And so the way this pending membership is populated, I can show you all of these members have recently joined, applied and approved. So basically that form, all the data gets put into the columns here. So it's not me having to re-enter it again. It's been entered by the prospective member. And then as soon as they get approved, I've actually set up a column here, the date that it was approved. And you just put in the date that it was approved. And what happens is I've commanded this sheet with what's called automations, which is another feature of Airtable. And as soon as it gets something put in there, it then will migrate that particular member's information across to our GGA network list and put it on the website. So just seamless migration of data. So let's have a look at row 11, the Bee Industry Council that were approved in October. As soon as I entered that they were approved, you're now looking at the main network list. They're on row 5 because it's A to Z, and you can see all this data. If we clicked on their bio, it all came from them. So just wonderful. What I've also commanded it to do is once we get approved, commanded it to send me a whole lot of emails for tasks that I have to do. So for example, all these 4 underlined ones. So every time a member is approved, it triggers actually around 7 onboarding tasks. So the first task would be to send them a notice that their GGA membership has been approved. And again, I've got Airtable actually writing me the email, and it pulls off, dear, say Bronwyn, if it was Bronwyn that had just applied, and it'll pull off the organisation, your organisation's, Citrus WA membership has been approved at this date, and it picks up the October 5. So it pre-populates the email for you, but I've got it sending it to me so that I can proofread it one more time, and then it comes from me to them. So all the heavy lifting's done. Another thing I've commanded it is to check that they're what's called a slug there, which is like the way that they get pinned on the map. Check that that is working, because sometimes it doesn't always work and you may have to put in coordinates. There could be something weird with their address and it's the internet's not decoding it. I also commanded it to tell me to add them to Newswire as a subscriber so that they can get all our information, prepare a social media post, and then I actually can then for this email, it's got all the details about the organisation in that notification, then forward that on to a woman who assists us with some of our editing, and she will prepare a social media post, pop it in Hootsuite, and I'll jump in and check it. So at the click of a button, just by simply from that form, it's just triggered so many actions that just save you hours. Okay, this was another use. project dashboard. So this is another, again, all of this information is public information. I've actually hidden some columns. You can do that. You can see here there's 13 hidden fields, but all this is general public knowledge. So this is the log of our projects. You can actually see who internally is responsible for that project. You've got all the dollars involved with it. Now, from back to your question around that linking, how do you link, you know, the member names? So we've got a column here that we like to pop in there which grow groups are collaborating with our partners on that particular project. And I have commanded this particular column to pull from our membership list. So just say I was to press a plus here, and want to add a group to this particular project, it will then offer me a menu of all of our members. And I just click on them and it then would pop them in automatically. And just say I want to email that particular member. All I need to do is say, click on Facey Group, and it'll pop up with a little bio of Facey, and I just click on the email and I shoot off Kelly an email or something like that. So instead of me having to retype out, you know, for example, this one has 13 grow group partners. If, you know, that's just gobbling up time. I'd have to retype all those names. It's done automatically. And then when we prepare our annual report, I just go straight into this, and it's got all of the groups listed accurately with spelling correct. I then grab that, it goes to the graphic designer. So you get the gist here of, it's just so efficient in terms of one clean data source. A second sheet just on that, like this project dashboard, we've got a few other sheets that the team are using. And so from each project has like a lessons learned and issues register, and it'll have their own project management base like what I did for Forum, but we've got a summary base here for lessons learned. And for example, here's a couple. We've just started using this, so you just add it in by the date. Again, I've linked the project, so I don't have to type out what project it is. It's grabbing that from that original dashboard, and you write in what the issue was, action required, and then who to action. I've put all the team members' emails in there, and as soon as I put in K Bolton, I've set up an automation to send K Bolton, which is me, or it might be Michelle or Mark, a notification of this issue, so that it goes into their inbox and they can action it. And once they've actioned it, they come back and they tick here. So you've just got really good control on how your issues are being dealt with, and so on and so forth. Example, oh, that was the last example. I just did 7 examples. So in terms of how to get help and where to start on Airtable, that's their website address. Jump in and have a poke around. And they have got really good resources all on their website already. There's guides, webinars, there's a community. You can ask the community the question. You can send a chat for help, but it's just a very, very rich source of information on their website. So that's pretty much it for an overview, a speed dial overview of Airtable. It's a bit like a Olympic gymnast, very, very capable of all sorts of things. Yeah, with free options or very affordable upgraded options of features that it can deliver. So here's Zoho, their products like Airtable. Unfortunately, Bron, I don't know what Zoho is. Belinda this morning mentioned apricot, wild apricot and Zoho. And I think they sound like that. I have had a look at wild apricots. And again, it's probably more geared to paying memberships. So because we're not operating in that space, I'm not really au fait with it. But yeah, you just need to what I would say is I don't think Zoho could do all of this, but Zoho would certainly generate, membership renewals and invoices and comms and emails and that sort of thing. But in terms of, you can see that we're very operational with groups and projects and activities, and we're drawing on those groups and contacts. And so there's no way Zoho or Apricot could do any of this.
Yeah, Kallista, I was just going to jump in. No, definitely not. This is Hybron. This is very, very different to anything that Zoho can do, having worked with both of them.